for Danny one more time. A lasting legacy. Obviously, it's fitting on Memorial Day. Like Danny said, Memorial Day is a time where we reflect on those who have given their lives in service. So I wanted to throw out a couple of facts. I love facts, so anytime I get to throw out some facts, I'm going to take advantage. Memorial Day was actually called Decoration Day. It was changed to Memorial Day in 1967. Now, did you guys know that it's actually by law you're required to have a moment of silence at 3 o'clock on Memorial Day? This is the actual law. So, I mean, obviously, they're not going to arrest people for not doing it, but it was actually signed into law in the year 2000. So at 3 p.m., every American citizen is called to take a moment of silence for those that have given their lives in service. There's definitely a reverence and appreciation that we need to have for those that have sacrificed their lives in service, because it's definitely why one of the reasons why we're here today. Over 1 billion people have died in the wars throughout our history. And the crazy thing is that as I was thinking about what I wanted to share this morning, I started thinking about what's my legacy going to be. And obviously, I have three children now. Our newest addition arrived a little over three weeks ago. Yeah. And so whenever one of our children was born, I started thinking about their plans for their lives, right? Parents, I know you can relate to me on this. You start thinking about, man, like, what do you want your child to become? What do you want them to be when they grow up, right? You start making all these plans, and then I started thinking about, what am I going to leave my children? When I'm no longer here on earth, what am I going to leave? What am I going to leave them? What's going to be their inheritance? In America, that can be something that people think about a lot, right? We as parents, we work to have something to not only take care of our kids, but have something to leave them with when we're no longer here. And so that's kind of the theme that I wanted to take on my message this morning is with the lasting legacy. Is what is going to be your legacy? A little bit in Proverbs 13, verse 22, the Bible reads, "A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children, but a sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous." So again, to drive home, like, man, like, what are you storing up? What are you going to leave behind? A little bit about my history, my family history is a very interesting one. I'm sure we all have little intricacies with our family. I was the first person in my family to graduate high school. First one to go to college, to get a degree. And so once you hit those milestones, your family legacy changes, right? You go from the description of family being X to changing. So when it came to my kids, I was like, what do I want to leave them? What am I going to leave them? What's going to be their inheritance? There's a lot of crazy stories I wanted to look up. Like, what's the craziest story about someone receiving an inheritance? There's actually a story of this guy in Hong Kong. He's a feng shui expert. And so there's this wealthy woman, a billionaire. She found out that she had cancer, and so she had been hiring this guy to kind of help her with her feng shui. And this guy was so effective in what his job that she actually left her inheritance to him, over $1 billion, to this guy that helped her out. And I'm like, well, I'm definitely not going to be able to leave my kids any kind of money. So, David, I'm sure when you listen to this later on, don't be disappointed. I can't leave my kids a lot of money. I can't leave them wealth and a lot of possessions because we just don't have it. But I thought about something that I can leave to my kids, and that is I can leave them in a legacy of faith. That's really our first point. The title of my first point is the priceless gift. Now, inheritance, they're full of things, right? Possessions that you pass along in generations. And I thought about, man, like, what more priceless gift can you give to your kids than faith, right? We're all here because we believe in God. We have faith in the Lord. Our faith is the most priceless thing that we can not only have ourselves, but we can pass along to our children, those we come into contact with. Turn with me to 1 Peter chapter 1. A priceless gift. Like our faith is something that you can't put a price on, right? In this scripture, Peter kind of highlights this fact in 1 Peter chapter 1. In verse 3, Peter writes, "Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. In His great mercy, He has given us new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, and into an inheritance that can never perish, spoil, or fade, kept in heaven for you, who through faith are shielded by God's power until the coming of the salvation that is ready to be revealed in the last time. In this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief and all kinds of trials. These have come so that your faith, of greater worth than gold, which perishes, even though refined by fire, may be proved genuine and may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed."
Wow.
So he lays it on us that our faith, which is of greater worth than gold, our faith is priceless, you guys. And when I started to think about faith and how priceless it is, I started thinking about how often we can understand this concept that our faith, we can't put a price on our faith. But how often we exchange our faith for things that have little or no value at all. We get into this discouragement, right? Challenging times come. The challenging times, the trials that Peter mentions, those come and we exchange our faith for discouragement. We exchange our faith for unbelief. We exchange that priceless gift for things that have no value. We exchange our inheritance for things that don't last. The chances, we gotta understand that our faith is priceless. Do you understand that your faith this morning is priceless? Or is there a value? Is there a dollar amount? Is there a quantity attached to your faith that you're willing to exchange it for? Is it worth fighting for? I challenge you to secure your inheritance. How do you secure your inheritance? Is that you got to persevere. You got to persevere through the trials. That's how your faith gets refined and it gets strengthened. You have to persevere to secure that inheritance. In verse 8, it says, though you have not seen him, you love him. And even though you do not see him now, you believe in him and are filled with an inexpressible and glorious joy. For you are receiving the goal of your faith, the salvation of your souls. The goal of our faith is our salvation. We need to understand that's what helps us get that better sense of the pricelessness that is our faith. I know for me, like there are times in my life where it was very easy for me to exchange that priceless gift for things that have no value at all. Growing up, and I'm the oldest of 6 children, and so I grew up just being very isolated. Who here is the oldest in their family? So you guys can relate. Like you're either the example of what to do or what not to do, right? So that can be a very lonely life. And so I grew up just keeping to myself, just worrying about myself and worrying about what I needed to take care of. But that instilled a great sense of independence that doesn't work well for you when you become a disciple, when you become a Christian. I had to understand that I needed to fight for my faith. And just like he mentioned in verse 8, it says, though you have seen him, you love him. Even though you do not see him now, you believe in him and are filled with an inexpressible and glorious joy. I want to challenge you guys to go after refining your faith. To go after looking at the challenges that are coming into your life and see them as, hey, I need to go through this to refine my faith, to keep my priceless inheritance. Amen?
Come on, David.
Point number 2, an eternal bond. An eternal bond. In Memorial Day, when I'm reading about the various stories of these soldiers that given up their lives, there are a lot of great stories out there. There are a lot of movies that have been made over countless reenactments of these great stories of heroism. And one of them, Joel actually took me to see Hacksaw Ridge. I'm not a big fan of like the gory movies. Mel Gibson produced it, so it's Passion of the Christ level. But it's the story of a true story of a guy named Desmond Dawson. It's the guy that was drafted into an army, but because of his faith as a Christian, refused to carry a weapon into battle. He still wanted to serve his country, but he didn't want to carry a battle, so he fought to almost get kicked out of the army, and was labeled a conscious detractor, defector. So he was allowed to serve, but he didn't carry a weapon, and so he was a medic. And so the story of this guy in World War II in Okinawa, they go to overtake this place called Hacksaw Ridge. The enemy had kind of infiltrated this spot. They needed to take over this base so that the Americans, the Allies, can establish a base. But this place was littered with tunnels and different places where the opposing army was just hiding out and just taking people out. And so this guy, there are a lot of casualties, but this guy as a medic sacrificed his life, not sacrificed, but put his life on the line to save over 75 people by himself single-handedly. We hear about these different stories, and we are impressed by the tales of heroism from these guys. And I imagine like the guys that Desmond Dawson saved, they formed a bond with these guys, right? Yeah. They tell stories. They remember this guy, this hero that gave his life. How much more us in the battle for our spiritual lives do we need to have a legacy? But we need to have an eternal bond. In verse 8 in 1 Peter, the verse that we read, it says, though you have not seen him, you love him. Even though you do not see him now, you believe in him and are filled with an inexpressible and glorious joy. And something I came away with from reading the scriptures is that we can't see God, we can't see Jesus, but we still love him. And so that right there puts the excuse away that you don't need to know someone to love him. That you don't need to have a super strong relationship to have love for someone. You just need to realize that the person to right and left is willing to die for you. Because that's what Jesus is, right? He's the guy that gave up his life for us, even though he didn't know us, right? He gave his life for us. And I thought about how we can have that. It can be so hard for us to have that mindset with our brothers and sisters in the faith. That we feel like I need to have a tight bond with this person. I need to spend countless hours with so-and-so to really love them. But Jesus laid the foundation that no, you don't need to spend a lot of time. You just need to know that you're willing to sacrifice your life for this person. It's the same for the people in the army coming from different walks of life, and they realize, hey, I need to be willing to give my life up for my fellow soldier. We need to be willing to do the same. That forms an eternal bond. Turn with me to Revelation 21. Come on, man. In Revelation 21, this is the end game, the end result. In Revelation 21, in verse 1, Bible reads, then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, now the dwelling of God is with men, and he will live with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. Here we get a great visual, right? Imagine, you make it, you persevere through life, you make it, you're waiting to be with God, right? And it paints a picture of everyone just waiting for God. And imagine yourself, making it and look into your right and left. Don't you want to see people, your brothers and sisters, right there next to you? Yeah. Who do you see next to you? Yeah. For me, if I were to keep the same mindset that it's just me and myself and I, there wouldn't be there wouldn't be a lot of people that would be with me in heaven. We want to bring as many people as possible with us, right? We want to be up there and say, hey, I remember this person, I remember that person, I remember having talks and conversations with this person, I helped this person with their relationship with God. We should have a bunch of people that we know there with us. That needs to be a part of our legacy. That's the everlasting bond that we need to have when we go into heaven. So ask again, what is really valuable and priceless to you? God is calling us higher in our faith and in our love. We need to be willing to sacrifice our lives for one another to make it into heaven. Sure, there are many other stories that we can read about people that have given their lives. But one passage of scripture that I think that I love to read is in the book of Hebrews that talks about a legacy of a number of people. In Hebrews chapter 11, we find it. Come on, man. My third point is built to last. So legacy built to last. In Hebrews 11, in verse 1. It says, now faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. This is what the ancients were commended for. By faith we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible. By faith Abel offered God a better sacrifice than Cain did. By faith he was commended as a righteous man when God spoke well of his offerings. And by faith he still speaks, even though he is dead. By faith Enoch was taken from his life, so that he did not experience death, he could not be found, because God had taken him away, for before he was taken, he was committed as one who pleased God. And without faith it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. By faith Noah, when he warned about things not yet seen, in holy fear built an ark to save his family. By faith he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness that comes by faith. By faith Abraham, when called to go to a place he would later receive as his inheritance, obeyed and went, even though he did not know where he was going. By faith he made his home in the promised land, like a stranger in a foreign country. He lived in tents, as did Isaac and Jacob, who were heirs with them of the same promise. For he was looking forward to the city with foundations, whose architect and builder is God. By faith Abraham, even though he was close past age and Sarah herself was barren, was enabled to become a father because he considered him faithful who had made the promise. And so from this one man, and he as good as dead, came descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as countless as the sands on the seashore. All these people were still living by faith when they died. They did not receive the things promised. They only saw them and welcomed them from a distance, and they admitted that they were aliens and strangers on earth. And when I read this, when it talks about all the people that had faith, and it mentioned that all these people didn't receive the things promised, there's one thing that speaks out, is that they didn't give up. Yeah. All these people were promised things, yet they didn't see them, but they didn't give up. Now imagine all these stories that we read, right? Remember the story about Desmond Dawson. If he would have given up, right? Imagine what type of story that would have been, right? The people that read, our brothers and sisters in the Bible, they had given up, right? They'd be much different. There'd be much different stories, right? They have much different impact. The challenge with us in our legacy, and building our legacy, is just simply that we can't give up. Yeah. I used to work for Nike a while back, and they had this promotion for the World Cup. Obviously, soccer is a global sport. People in numerous countries, like, they devote their whole lives to trying to play in hopes of playing for their country. And so they came up with a slogan called "Write the Future," and it's all about training in hopes of playing in the World Cup. And with the idea is that each day you're working towards your goal, you're writing your future. And it's the same thing with us. Like as we're living our lives as Christians, we're writing our future, as we're writing our legacy each and every day. What do you want your legacy to be? So I feel like we don't think about that, on a day-to-day basis. Like I'm living today, but I'm writing my future as I speak, as I live and breathe as a Christian. If we give up, we don't realize those promises. And turn with me to Galatians chapter 6. We cannot give up. In Galatians chapter 6. Yeah. The Bible reads, in verse 9, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Wow, it's clear about this. Like, we just simply can't give up. Like, what is our legacy going to be if we give up? We won't have one. If you're tempted to give up, maybe you have been tempted this week, I want to encourage you to really look on the scriptures and find encouragement and realize that we receive what we get, what is promised if we don't give up. Back in Hebrews 11, in the end, I never really understood this scripture fully until this last week. All right. Hebrews, I love Hebrews. It's my favorite book in the Bible. And I believe God left, no one really knows who wrote the book of Hebrews. And I believe it's for a reason. So in Hebrews 11:38, after the writer goes and continues to talk about the heroes of faith, in verse 38 it says, the world was not worthy of them. They wandered in deserts and mountains and in caves and holes in the ground. These were all commended for their faith, yet none of them received what had been promised. God had planned something better for us, so that only together with us they be made perfect. And I kind of scratched my head. So he's talking about the heroes of faith, right? And then he pulls the audience into the story.
Yeah.
It says in verse 40, God had planned something better for us, so that only together with us will they be made perfect. I'm like, why does he pull in us into the story when he's talking about heroes of faith? Because he said they didn't receive what was promised. What was promised was us. Like we're the goal of their faith was so that we can have an opportunity to have faith. And so it made me think, like, with our legacies are not our own, right? Like there are people that are counting on us to make it. There are people that we're going to interact with our lives that if we give up, they will not be a part. They won't have a chance to submit their legacy, and our legacy won't be submitted. Here he's saying, hey, like these guys, they didn't receive what was promised because what was promised was us. So it becomes complete when we see them in heaven. That when we make it. And add a whole extra layer. Like, man, there are people that are dependent on me to make it. There are people that are dependent on me to not give up. I look at my son. If you guys see him, like he wanted to wear his vest and tie and his shirt because he saw me get dressed. He's like, I want to wear the same. I want to wear the same thing. It was really cute. I was thinking about. I was like, wow, it's kind of like I'm an example for my son, but it really made me think like, wow, like this guy is dependent on me to be an example for him. If I'm not the example of a true Christian, he's not going to make it. He's not going to have an example to follow. I can't give up. There's someone out there that is seeking for God, that's dependent on you to not give up. We have to realize that, hey, we can't give up. We have to make it. Who will be with you in heaven when it's all said and done? I want to leave you guys with a quote by Shannon Alder.
All right.
And she says, carve your name on hearts, not tombstones. A legacy is etched into the minds of those and the stories they share about you. And so when I began thinking about this lesson, I was very much thinking about myself, right? Like, okay, what is my legacy going to be? And it slowly changed into, like my legacy, we're all part of each other's legacy. My legacy is your legacy. We're all Christians. We're all trying to make it to the end. We're deeply entwined and connected with one another. We need each other to make it. And so, if you're feeling maybe alone, if you're feeling like, hey, I'm unsure of my inheritance, I'm unsure of my purpose, ask the person that invited you to study the Bible. To really look into the scriptures and see not only God's plan for you, but the inheritance that He has for you. And realize that we need one another to make it. We need one another to continue to write each other's legacy as we go on. Amen. To God be the glory.